In today's world, relationships can often become complex, and sometimes we find ourselves in situations where manipulation plays a subtle yet powerful role. Manipulation, whether intentional or not, can cloud judgment and distort reality, making it harder to recognize toxic behaviors. But what if there was a way to navigate through this chaos with clarity and confidence? Enter Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers timeless wisdom for mastering one's emotions, setting firm boundaries, and remaining unshaken in the face of adversity. While Stoicism is often associated with emotional resilience and mental strength, it also holds powerful lessons for recognizing and dealing with manipulative behaviors in others, especially in relationships with women. In this video, we'll explore how Stoicism's untold secrets can help you unmask manipulation, not only by understanding the behaviors of others, but by first strengthening your own inner resolve. Through self-reflection, logic, and emotional control, you'll learn how to spot the red flags of manipulation, maintain your peace of mind, and build healthier, more authentic connections. By the end, you'll have a Stoic toolkit that empowers you to handle manipulation with grace, understanding, and wisdom without losing yourself in the process. Let's dive into the first lesson of this powerful journey. Number 1. Understanding manipulation. Through a Stoic lens, manipulation in its essence is an attempt to control or influence others for personal gain, often at the expense of their well-being. In relationships, this could manifest through emotional manipulation, guilt-tripping, deceit, or coercion. For most people, spotting manipulation is difficult because it preys on emotional vulnerabilities, creating confusion, doubt, and sometimes even self-blame. However, Stoicism, with its focus on clarity of thought, emotional control, and living according to virtue, provides a lens through which manipulation can be more easily understood and avoided. The Stoics teach that our responses to external events are within our control, and this perspective can be a powerful tool when dealing with manipulation. One of the key principles of Stoicism is distinguishing between what is in our control and what is not. Manipulative people often try to target our emotions and reactions, seeking to push us into a corner where we feel compelled to act in ways that suit their desires. A Stoic approach reminds us that we have the power to choose how we respond, no matter how others behave. It's not the manipulator's actions that disturb us, but our judgment of those actions. By practicing emotional detachment, we can recognize manipulation without becoming emotionally entangled in it. The Stoic ideal of ataraxia, or inner peace, offers an important lesson when dealing with manipulative behavior. Manipulation often disrupts our mental peace by creating confusion or self-doubt. A Stoic, however, strives to maintain a calm and rational mind, unaffected by external disturbances. By focusing on virtue and the pursuit of wisdom, a Stoic develops the ability to see through the facade of manipulation and understand the true intentions behind a person's actions. This clarity comes from the ability to assess situations objectively, without the emotional biases that manipulators thrive on. Another Stoic practice, premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, helps prepare the mind for negative or challenging experiences. By mentally rehearsing difficult situations, such as recognizing manipulative behavior, we are better equipped to respond calmly and rationally when they arise. This practice strengthens the Stoics' resilience and ensures that they are not caught off guard by the manipulator's tactics. It teaches us to expect and prepare for challenges, knowing that our reaction to them is what truly matters. Moreover, the Stoic concept of oikeiosis, or the process of understanding one's nature and role in the world, reminds us that manipulative behavior is often rooted in insecurity or selfishness. The manipulator seeks to control others because they feel powerless or insecure. Understanding this helps to detach from the manipulative behavior and see it for what it truly is, a sign of weakness in the manipulator, not a reflection of our own inadequacies. Ultimately, Stoicism offers a profound way to understand manipulation not as something that diminishes us, but as a challenge that reveals the importance of emotional intelligence, wisdom, and virtue. By embracing the Stoic mindset, we can navigate manipulative situations with resilience and clarity, ensuring that we never lose sight of our values and inner peace. Through this lens, manipulation becomes less of a threat and more of an opportunity to practice the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, and self-control. Number 2. The power of self-reflection. Knowing yourself first. The power of self-reflection, as seen through a Stoic lens, is fundamental to personal growth, emotional resilience, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with clarity and purpose. Stoicism emphasizes that self-knowledge is the key to wisdom, and this wisdom allows individuals to make decisions that are aligned with their highest values, rather than being influenced by external circumstances or emotional impulses. Through self-reflection, we develop an understanding of our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, which provides us with the ability to respond thoughtfully to situations rather than react impulsively. In this sense, knowing oneself is the first step toward becoming a true Stoic, as it creates a strong foundation for living a virtuous and intentional life. Self-reflection allows us to identify our strengths and weaknesses, our desires and our fears, helping us to better understand what drives our actions. By gaining insight into our own motivations and patterns, we can begin to align our behavior with the Stoic principles of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. A Stoic is constantly engaged in a process of self-examination, asking themselves whether their thoughts and actions are rooted in virtue or driven by external desires, such as the need for approval, wealth, or power. This continuous self-reflection helps to eliminate distractions, ensuring that our actions are guided by what is truly important, rather than being swayed by fleeting emotions or societal pressures. Moreover, self-reflection enables us to cultivate emotional resilience. By understanding our emotional triggers and reactions, we become less vulnerable to manipulation or external events that might otherwise unsettle us. When faced with adversity, a Stoic can pause and reflect on their response, choosing to act based on reason rather than being swept up by anger, fear, or frustration. This ability to pause and reflect before reacting is central to Stoic practice, as it allows us to maintain control over our emotions and stay aligned with our values, even in challenging circumstances. In addition to fostering emotional control, self-reflection also strengthens our relationships. By understanding ourselves better, we are more likely to be empathetic toward others, recognizing that their actions and behaviors may be influenced by their own struggles, insecurities, and desires. This empathy fosters compassion and patience, qualities that are essential for cultivating healthy, harmonious relationships. When we know ourselves deeply, we are also better equipped to set boundaries and make decisions that are in our best interest, protecting our emotional well-being and ensuring that our relationships remain mutually respectful and supportive. In conclusion, the power of self-reflection lies in its ability to foster wisdom, emotional resilience, and intentional living. By knowing ourselves first, we create a strong foundation for making decisions based on virtue, managing our emotions, and building meaningful relationships. Through continuous self-examination, we align ourselves with Stoic principles, allowing us to live a life of integrity, peace, and purpose. Number 3. Emotions are controllable. Recognizing emotional manipulation. Stoicism teaches that emotions, while natural, are ultimately within our control, and should not dictate our actions or responses. Recognizing and understanding emotional manipulation is crucial for maintaining this control. Emotional manipulation occurs when someone deliberately seeks to influence another person's emotions in order to achieve a specific goal, often by exploiting vulnerabilities, guilt, or fear. From a Stoic perspective, the key to recognizing and responding to emotional manipulation is to remember that we are always in charge of how we perceive and react to external stimuli, including manipulative behaviors. Manipulators often rely on our emotional reactions, knowing that when we are emotionally triggered, we become more susceptible to their influence. A Stoic approach involves staying aware of our emotional state, recognizing when someone is attempting to manipulate us, and responding with reason and self-control rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. A core Stoic principle is that our emotions arise from our judgments, and we can choose how to interpret situations. Emotional manipulation thrives on the assumption that we will react based on automatic emotional responses, such as guilt, shame, or fear. However, by understanding that we have the ability to examine and adjust these emotional responses, we can resist being manipulated. For example, if someone uses guilt to control our actions, a Stoic would recognize that guilt is an external emotion, not something inherent within us. They would detach from the emotional trigger and instead focus on their own values, making decisions based on what is truly virtuous and aligned with their purpose, rather than being swayed by an attempt at manipulation. By practicing mindfulness and self-awareness, Stoics can spot emotional manipulation before it takes hold. When we are aware of our emotions and understand how they can be influenced, we can prevent others from using them against us. A Stoic response to emotional manipulation involves recognizing that no one has the power to control our emotions unless we allow it. Instead of reacting in frustration or anger, the Stoic remains calm, detached, and focused on rational thinking, asking themselves whether the emotional reaction is justified or whether it is a result of manipulation. In this way, Stoicism empowers us to take back control over our emotions, protect our peace of mind, and avoid being manipulated by others. In conclusion, recognizing emotional manipulation through a Stoic lens involves understanding that emotions are controllable and that we have the power to shape our responses. By practicing self-awareness, examining our emotions, and focusing on rationality, Stoics can protect themselves from emotional manipulation and maintain their peace, acting in alignment with their values rather than external pressures. This approach not only strengthens emotional resilience, but also fosters a deeper sense of autonomy and inner tranquility. Number 4. Being aware of gaslighting. Gaslighting, a form of psychological manipulation designed to make someone doubt their own perceptions, memories, or sanity, is a subtle and insidious tactic often employed to gain power or control over another person. From a Stoic perspective, being aware of gaslighting is essential for maintaining clarity of thought, emotional resilience, and a strong sense of self. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control the actions or intentions of others, but we can control our responses to them. Recognizing when someone is trying to manipulate our perception of reality through gaslighting is the first step in reclaiming control over our own minds and protecting our emotional well-being. A Stoic approach to gaslighting begins with the understanding that our perception of reality is grounded in our judgments, and that we have the power to examine those judgments critically. Gaslighters often distort facts, dismiss our feelings, and undermine our confidence to create confusion and self-doubt. They rely on the victim's emotional response, hoping that they will question their own version of events. A Stoic, however, remains rooted in their own internal clarity and sense of truth. When faced with gaslighting, They do not react with immediate emotional turmoil, but instead take a step back to assess the situation objectively. They remind themselves that their perception and understanding of reality are not defined by another person's manipulations. Stoic wisdom encourages us to trust our inner judgment and maintain an unwavering sense of self. Gaslighting thrives when the victim is made to feel uncertain or invalidated, but a Stoic, by practicing self-reflection and emotional detachment, can identify the manipulation without internalizing it. By aligning their actions and thoughts with virtue and reason, the Stoic resists being swayed by the distorted narratives imposed by the gaslighter. They do not allow the manipulator's behavior to dictate their emotional state or sense of self-worth. Instead, they stay grounded in their own understanding of reality and act in accordance with their values. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches the importance of maintaining boundaries and protecting one's peace. Gaslighting often involves subtle attacks on one's identity and sense of reality, and a Stoic recognizes the need to set firm boundaries with those who engage in such behaviors. By asserting their needs and limiting interactions with those who undermine their mental clarity, a Stoic protects their emotional and mental well-being. They do not engage in the manipulative tactics of the gaslighter, but remain committed to their own truth, embracing the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, and temperance. In conclusion, being aware of gaslighting through a Stoic lens involves recognizing the tactics used to distort reality and maintaining an unwavering sense of self. By practicing emotional detachment, self-reflection, and rationality, Stoics can resist the manipulative influence of gaslighting and stay true to their own understanding of the world. This approach not only protects their emotional health, but also strengthens their ability to navigate challenging relationships and situations with clarity, virtue, and integrity. Number 5. Recognizing flattery versus genuine praise. Recognizing the difference between flattery and genuine praise is an essential skill for maintaining authenticity and emotional clarity, especially from a Stoic perspective. Flattery is often self-serving, designed to manipulate or gain favor, while genuine praise is an honest acknowledgement of someone's qualities or achievements. Stoicism teaches that external validation, whether positive or negative, should not determine our sense of self-worth. By practicing mindfulness and self-awareness, we can distinguish between these two forms of praise and respond accordingly without being swayed by the manipulative intentions behind flattery. Flattery is typically exaggerated, insincere, and aimed at pleasing or manipulating the recipient for personal gain. It often appeals to vanity, making the recipient feel special or superior, but it's empty in its intent. A Stoic recognizes that this kind of praise is not grounded in virtue or truth, but is instead a tactic used to influence or control. Flattery relies on an emotional response, triggering feelings of pride, desire for approval, or an inflated sense of self. A Stoic, however, is trained to detach from such external influences and not be swayed by superficial praise. They focus instead on internal virtues and the pursuit of wisdom, recognizing that their worth is not defined by others' opinions or flattery. On the other hand, genuine praise is rooted in truth and acknowledges someone's qualities or achievements that align with their character or virtues. It is grounded in an objective recognition of effort, skill, or integrity, not an attempt to manipulate or gain favor. A Stoic can accept genuine praise with gratitude, but does not allow it to distort their sense of self. They understand that true value lies not in what others say about them, but in their commitment to living virtuously and practicing wisdom. While a Stoic can appreciate genuine recognition, they do not cling to it or let it define their actions. Their focus remains on cultivating inner strength, rather than seeking external validation. The ability to distinguish between flattery and genuine praise helps a Stoic maintain emotional resilience and integrity. By recognizing that flattery is often a tool for manipulation, they remain unaffected by it, not allowing their emotions to be manipulated or their sense of self inflated. Instead, they continue to pursue the path of virtue and wisdom, grounded in their own values, unaffected by the transient nature of external praise or criticism. This awareness allows them to stay focused on what truly matters: their own personal growth, the cultivation of wisdom, and their ability to respond to others with virtue and integrity. In conclusion, recognizing flattery versus genuine praise through a Stoic lens involves developing self-awareness and emotional detachment. By understanding the intentions behind praise and focusing on inner virtues, a Stoic can avoid being swayed by superficial flattery and remain true to their principles. This approach enables them to navigate relationships and social situations with clarity, integrity, and emotional resilience, making decisions based on truth rather than manipulation. Number 6. Power of silence. Responding with restraint. The power of silence, as taught by Stoicism, is a profound tool for maintaining emotional control, exercising restraint, and responding to challenging situations with clarity and wisdom. In a world where immediate reactions and emotional outbursts are often seen as the norm, the Stoic practice of silence offers a powerful alternative. Silence is not about withdrawing from life or avoiding communication, but rather about using it as a strategic means of responding with reason rather than reacting impulsively. This approach fosters emotional resilience and helps avoid unnecessary conflict, making silence a tool for both personal growth and maintaining healthy relationships. When faced with provocation, criticism, or emotional manipulation, the impulse to respond immediately can be strong, but a Stoic knows that acting without thoughtful consideration often leads to regret. Silence allows us the time and space to pause, reflect, and assess the situation objectively, without being driven by the heat of the moment. In situations where emotions are high, silence gives the individual the opportunity to detach from the situation and regain control over their thoughts and feelings. Instead of reacting with anger, frustration, or defensiveness, the Stoic remains calm and composed, using silence to maintain inner peace and clarity. Furthermore, silence is a powerful tool for resisting manipulation and controlling the flow of interactions. Manipulative individuals often rely on emotional responses to assert control, and by responding with silence, we deny them the reaction they seek. Silence disrupts the cycle of emotional escalation, keeping us in control of the narrative and preventing others from using our emotions against us. In this way, silence is not just a defensive measure. It is also a way to assert boundaries and maintain autonomy in the face of external pressures. Silence also promotes humility and wisdom. By holding our tongue in situations where we might otherwise feel compelled to speak, we recognize that not every thought or opinion needs to be expressed. Stoicism teaches that wisdom comes from knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, understanding that our words should be intentional and rooted in virtue. Speaking recklessly or out of ego diminishes the power of our words and often leads to unnecessary conflict. By choosing silence, a Stoic ensures that their speech, when it does occur, is measured, deliberate, and aligned with their principles. In relationships, silence can serve as a tool for reflection and emotional clarity. Instead of engaging in argument or conflict, the Stoic may choose to remain silent, allowing time for emotions to settle and for a more thoughtful, rational response to emerge. This practice of restraint can diffuse tension and foster understanding rather than inflaming disputes. Silence, when used wisely, promotes respect, emotional distance, and the ability to choose how and when to engage. In conclusion, the power of silence in Stoicism is about responding to the world with emotional control, wisdom, and clarity. By choosing silence over impulsive reactions, a Stoic maintains their inner peace, resists manipulation, and cultivates thoughtful, intentional communication. Silence becomes not a retreat, but a strategy, allowing the Stoic to navigate life's challenges with composure, integrity, and self-mastery. Number 7. Stoic logic over emotional persuasion. Stoic logic over emotional persuasion is a key principle in maintaining clear judgment and control in the face of manipulation and emotional influence. In a world where emotions often drive decisions and reactions, Stoicism teaches the importance of prioritizing reason and logic over emotional persuasion. Emotional persuasion, a tactic frequently employed by manipulators, seeks to influence or control others by appealing to their feelings, fears, or desires. Stoics, however, recognize that emotions are fleeting and unreliable guides for decision-making. Instead, they turn to rational thought and virtue as their primary tools for navigating complex situations, ensuring their responses are grounded in wisdom rather than being swayed by momentary emotional impulses. A Stoic response to emotional persuasion involves stepping back and evaluating the situation through a lens of reason, not allowing external emotions to cloud their judgment. For example, when someone attempts to manipulate through guilt, fear, or flattery, the Stoic does not react impulsively or allow their emotions to dictate their actions. Instead, they pause to reflect on the situation, carefully considering whether their emotional response is justified and whether it aligns with their principles. By focusing on logic and virtue, the Stoic avoids making decisions based on temporary emotions that can be easily exploited by others. They ask themselves whether the desired outcome is truly in line with their values and whether their response is guided by reason or simply an emotional reaction to pressure. Stoic logic also involves understanding that emotional manipulation relies on the assumption that people will act in accordance with their feelings, often leading to decisions that are not aligned with their best interests. A Stoic knows that emotions, while natural, are not always reliable indicators of what is best for them. By focusing on logic and reason, they make decisions that reflect their true values and long-term goals, rather than being swayed by short-term emotional appeals. For instance, in a situation where someone is trying to provoke anger or fear to control a response, a Stoic recognizes that their emotional reaction is just a temporary state that will pass. They refuse to let that temporary feeling dictate their actions, choosing instead to act according to their reasoned understanding of what is virtuous or just in the situation. The practice of Stoic logic over emotional persuasion also involves maintaining an awareness of the impermanence of emotions. A Stoic knows that emotions like anger, fear, or desire can distort reality and lead to decisions that are not well thought out. By remaining grounded in logic, they can navigate situations with a clear mind, making choices that align with their long-term objectives and sense of self. This approach not only fosters emotional resilience, but also strengthens their ability to resist manipulation and pressure from others who seek to exploit emotional vulnerabilities. In conclusion, Stoic logic over emotional persuasion is about maintaining control over one's responses and actions, ensuring they are guided by reason and virtue rather than fleeting emotions. By prioritizing logic and critical thinking, a Stoic avoids being swayed by emotional manipulation, making decisions that reflect their true values and goals. This approach empowers them to navigate challenges with clarity, emotional resilience, and integrity, ensuring their actions are rooted in wisdom rather than reactive emotion. Number 8. The danger of excessive neediness or dependency. Excessive neediness or dependency can be a significant obstacle to personal growth and emotional well-being, especially when viewed through a Stoic lens. Stoicism teaches the importance of self-reliance, inner strength, and autonomy, encouraging individuals to cultivate their own virtues and not rely excessively on external validation or support. When someone becomes excessively needy or dependent, they risk losing their sense of self-worth, constantly seeking approval or emotional support from others to feel validated. This type of dependency undermines the Stoic ideal of self-sufficiency and can lead to unhealthy dynamics in relationships, where one party is perpetually seeking reassurance or control from others, while the other party may become resentful or overwhelmed by the demands. The Stoic approach to dependency emphasizes the development of internal resources rather than seeking fulfillment from external sources. A Stoic understands that true happiness and peace come from within, and that relying too heavily on others for emotional validation or material support is both unsustainable and detrimental to personal growth. Excessive neediness often stems from insecurity, fear of rejection, or a lack of self-confidence, but a Stoic recognizes that these emotions are temporary and that they have the power to manage them. By focusing on cultivating their own virtues, such as courage, wisdom, and temperance, a Stoic can reduce their emotional dependence on others and develop a deeper sense of inner peace and self-assurance. Furthermore, excessive neediness can lead to manipulative or exploitative behavior, both from the needy person and from those they depend on. When someone is constantly seeking reassurance, attention, or approval, it can create an imbalanced relationship where the other person feels burdened or coerced into providing these things. In turn, this can breed resentment, erode trust, and create power imbalances that undermine the integrity of the relationship. A Stoic, however, maintains healthy boundaries and understands that it is important to nurture relationships based on mutual respect and reciprocity, rather than dependency. They recognize that true connection and love are built on emotional independence and respect for one another's autonomy. The Stoic also understands the importance of embracing solitude and self-reflection as a means of fostering independence. Rather than looking to others to fulfill emotional needs, a Stoic embraces solitude as an opportunity for growth, introspection, and self-improvement. In these moments, they can examine their emotions, confront their insecurities, and learn to cultivate a deeper sense of self-worth that is not dependent on external approval. By becoming comfortable with their own company and needs, they develop emotional resilience and strength, ultimately becoming less reliant on others for validation or support. In conclusion, the danger of excessive neediness or dependency lies in its potential to undermine personal growth, create unhealthy relationship dynamics, and erode self-confidence. Stoicism teaches the importance of emotional self-reliance, self-sufficiency, and cultivating virtues that lead to inner peace and stability. By focusing on these principles, individuals can reduce emotional dependency on others, foster healthier relationships, and develop the strength and resilience necessary to navigate life's challenges with autonomy and wisdom. Number 9. Understanding the role of virtue in healthy relationships. In Stoicism, virtue plays a foundational role in not only personal development, but also in the cultivation of healthy and harmonious relationships. Virtue, as defined by Stoic philosophy, encompasses wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, qualities that guide an individual to act with integrity, fairness, and mindfulness. In relationships, these virtues serve as the compass for how individuals interact with others, ensuring that the relationship remains grounded in respect, understanding, and mutual growth. The Stoic perspective teaches that the health of a relationship is not solely dependent on external factors such as affection or approval, but on the alignment of values and actions with virtue. When both individuals in a relationship embody these virtues, they create a stable and supportive environment that fosters trust, communication, and genuine connection. Wisdom is crucial in relationships because it encourages individuals to make decisions based on rational thought rather than emotional impulses. Wisdom allows partners to navigate challenges with clarity, helping them to respond thoughtfully in times of conflict and avoid the traps of reactive behavior. Instead of acting out of anger, jealousy, or fear, wise individuals in a relationship seek to understand the root of issues and address them with compassion and reason. This not only strengthens the relationship, but also cultivates an environment where both individuals feel heard and valued, creating a sense of partnership rather than opposition. Wisdom also teaches that relationships require constant reflection and growth. By cultivating wisdom, individuals are more likely to assess their own actions, motivations, and behaviors within the relationship, striving for self-improvement and a deeper understanding of their partner's needs and desires. Courage is another essential virtue that influences the health of relationships. In a world where vulnerability can be seen as a weakness, courage allows individuals to be open, honest, and authentic with their partners. This courage to be oneself and express one's true feelings and intentions fosters trust and emotional intimacy. Moreover, courage helps individuals face the inevitable difficulties that arise in relationships, such as disagreements, misunderstandings, or external pressures. Instead of avoiding confrontation or allowing resentment to build, courageous individuals confront challenges directly, with the aim of resolving issues and growing together. Courage also empowers partners to support each other in times of adversity, providing strength during difficult moments and reinforcing the resilience of the relationship. Justice, as a virtue, ensures fairness and equality within relationships. It encourages individuals to act with respect for their partner's rights, needs, and boundaries, promoting an equitable and balanced dynamic. Justice involves treating one's partner with the same respect, kindness, and consideration that one would expect in return. It fosters an atmosphere where both individuals feel valued and supported, and it ensures that decisions are made in a way that benefits both parties, rather than one person dominating or manipulating the other. A relationship grounded in justice is one where both individuals have a voice and are equally invested in the well-being of the relationship, creating a foundation of mutual respect. Lastly, temperance is vital in maintaining balance and harmony in relationships. Temperance encourages self-control and moderation, preventing individuals from becoming overly attached, possessive, or dependent on their partner. It helps individuals avoid excessive emotional reactions, allowing them to respond to their partner's actions with composure and perspective. By practicing temperance, individuals maintain their own sense of self while also supporting the growth and well-being of their partner. It also promotes patience, understanding that relationships require time, effort, and space to develop and flourish. In conclusion, virtue plays a central role in the health of relationships by guiding individuals to act with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues ensure that individuals approach their relationships with clarity, fairness, respect, and emotional balance, fostering a healthy dynamic where both partners can grow, support one another, and navigate challenges together. Stoicism teaches that relationships are not about seeking validation or external rewards, but about cultivating internal virtues that strengthen the bond between individuals and create a foundation for enduring connection and mutual respect. Number 10. The Stoic art of letting go, setting boundaries and walking away. The Stoic art of letting go, particularly through the practice of setting boundaries and walking away, is a profound approach to maintaining inner peace and emotional resilience. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control external events, people, or the actions of others, but we can control how we respond to them. One of the most powerful tools for maintaining this control is the ability to set clear, healthy boundaries and, when necessary, walk away from situations or relationships that threaten our peace of mind or values. This is not an act of retreat or avoidance, but a deliberate choice to preserve one's emotional well-being and maintain a life aligned with virtue. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect, allowing individuals to assert their needs and protect their mental and emotional space without compromising their principles. It involves recognizing when a situation is no longer beneficial, respectful, or conducive to growth, and choosing to distance oneself from the harmful elements. Walking away, as taught by Stoic philosophy, is an empowered decision, one rooted in the understanding that not all battles are worth fighting and not all relationships are worth maintaining. This act of detachment does not come from anger, fear, or bitterness, but from a calm recognition of what is within one's control. Stoics recognize that relationships, whether personal or professional, can become toxic or draining if they are built on unhealthy dynamics, manipulation, or disrespect. In such situations, walking away becomes a form of wisdom, a recognition that staying in an unbalanced or harmful relationship only leads to further suffering and distraction from one's higher purpose. By walking away, the Stoic is not surrendering. Instead, they are choosing to redirect their energy toward more productive, virtuous, and meaningful pursuits, focusing on what truly aligns with their values. Setting boundaries and walking away also involve the Stoic practice of accepting the impermanence of all things. Stoics understand that people and situations are constantly changing, and clinging to relationships or circumstances that no longer serve us only causes unnecessary attachment and emotional disturbance. By practicing detachment, the Stoic frees themselves from the need for approval, validation, or attachment to outcomes. They understand that it is more important to preserve their own virtue, peace, and well-being than to maintain a relationship or situation that disrupts their tranquility. This mindset helps Stoics avoid emotional entanglements that lead to dependency, resentment, or frustration, instead fostering a life of autonomy, emotional strength, and personal growth. Moreover, the Stoic art of letting go emphasizes the importance of rational decision-making over emotional impulses. In situations where boundaries must be set, or when walking away is necessary, the Stoic reflects on the decision with logic and clarity, rather than reacting impulsively out of anger or hurt. This reflection is guided by the principle of what is within our control, namely, our own thoughts, actions, and responses, and what is not, such as the behaviors or decisions of others. By focusing on this distinction, the Stoic avoids getting caught in emotional turmoil or engaging in destructive behaviors. Instead, they choose actions that reflect wisdom, integrity, and emotional maturity. In conclusion, the Stoic art of letting go, through setting boundaries and walking away, is a powerful practice that empowers individuals to protect their peace, prioritize their well-being, and align their actions with virtue. It teaches the importance of detachment, emotional resilience, and self-respect in navigating relationships and life's challenges. By embracing this Stoic approach, individuals learn to accept the things they cannot control, let go of unhealthy attachments, and focus on what truly matters, the cultivation of inner strength, wisdom, and a life lived in accordance with their highest values.